Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan. We're here with the amazing Tracie Toms. Go ahead and give her a call, guys, and give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. Hey, Tracie.
Hi.
Hi, Tracie.
I have my phone out.
How are you?
I'm great. I am great. I'm happy to be here and lovely.
We're very
Where are we
excited
in
to have you here.
California.
Sunland.
Lovely
Sunland,
Sunland, California. I've never really been to this part of California. And I'm happy to be here.
Well, now
with
you can say you have.
I can say I have.
Two birds with one stone. La La
Absolutely.
Land and Sunland all in one day.
Yes,
Yep.
all our guests get those perks.
Yeah.
Tracie Toms, for our guests that don't know, Tracie is probably best known for her role as Joanne in Rent, both the film and on stage. And you recently worked on, you're working on Stick Fly right now, right?
I
You want to
was.
start off talking about that? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
I just did this play on Broadway called Stick Fly. It was a straight play, written by Lydia Diamond, and it was kind of a really fantastic show about this affluent African-American family.
Wait,
I know.
those exist?
I know.
What are you talking
Sometimes
about?
That's
we're
the-
not broke.
It's the Brian Gumbel thing I was talking about.
Sometimes. But yeah, and it's basically a weekend in Martha's Vineyard, and race and class collide because I was there visiting my fiance's family for the first time, and my fiance was played by Dule Hill, and his brother was played by Mekhi Phifer.
Wow, that must have been tough to go
It
to
was
work
terrible.
every day.
It was awful. And then so Mekhi Phifer's character brought his girlfriend as well, who happened to be white, so automatically, conversations come up and tensions arise because apparently that's what still happens in post-racial America. We have to talk about things like that. So yeah, and all kinds of stuff comes out. Secrets come out. It
Sounds like a great show.
I hit on
fun.
Mekhi Phifer once at a party.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He basically ignored me, and then two girls in really short skirts walked by, and like mid-sentence, he just turned around and followed them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Love is love. That's what he said. Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love.
I felt like such a fool. I was like, I'm dumb.
You're
But,
not
you know,
dumb.
What can you do?
Make sure you call us at 800-336-2225 with any of your Mekhi Phifer stories.
Tracy, one of our listeners and audience members, I guess, Steve Banco,
From Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, tweeted us to ask you specifically to tell us what it was like to play Joanne in Rent, and tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, it's a long conversation, but I'm happy to talk about it. I, like many people, stood in line for years and years and many callbacks for Rent in New York City. My first one was, I think, in 97. Drove up, stayed up all night, stood in line from 4 a.m.
Wow.
till noon. And by the time I got close enough to go in, I lost my voice.
Oh,
So I lost my, I went away. Like I had a voice and then I went to speak again and nothing came out. So I thought that was a sign that
Yeah.
I was not supposed to sing for the people on that particular day.
yeah.
So, so then I'm getting tweets. Sorry, I'm getting tweets about us being here. So
You went back later?
so I went back. They ended up coming to D.C., so I stayed where I was. I stayed put and auditioned and then auditioned and then auditioned and they kept telling me to come back and come back and come back, and that lasted for 8 years.
Wow.
And then finally I went in for the film. I actually went in for an earlier film version that Spike Lee was directing, and Spike liked me a lot but thought I was too young. Yeah.
Spike Lee was...
Spike Lee was going to direct Rent
Interesting.
at one point and then fell apart.
Let me ask you something about Spike Lee. When you went into audition for him, did he have his back to you and was he watching you on the screen?
No, he was kind of like, I know there's a camera here. So I was in front of him singing and he was kind of listening, like looking down, but not really looking directly at me. But what ended up happening was Spike and I went to rival colleges. I went to Howard University, he went to Morehouse. And Howard and Morehouse have this long standing rivalry, and it usually comes up. Every time I meet a Morehouse man and I say I went to Howard, then we have to fight. Like there's just battle, there's just bickering that happens. And that
UCLA
happened,
USC thing.
and that happened in the audition. which actually made it a whole lot more fun. 'Cause
Yeah.
we just kept, you know.
Well, I
cracking
auditioned for
on
him
each
once,
other.
and that's what he did. Like, he had his back to me, and he was watching me on the screen.
Did that freak you out?
It freaked me out a little bit, and then I said something, and he, like, turned and looked at me, and then went back to the screen, and that really freaked me out.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. My freak out was somehow I missed the part of the memo that told me that he was going to be there at my callback. So this was a callback. So I remember walking into the room, and the casting director says, she turns back to me, so I'm behind her. We're walking in the room, and she goes, "Tracie, this is Spike Lee." And it was before, and in that moment, I realized that he was there. And so I had no preparation. I was like, "Hey, hi." I shook his hand, walked away. You know, and you do these things in movies where you shake someone's hand or you meet somebody and you turn around and you have a whole thing
Yeah, that
to their
happens.
back. And you're like, that doesn't actually happen. You hold it together, but wrong. Wrong. I literally was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." Oh my God. What would you like me to sing for you today, Mr. Spike Lee? He's like, "Sing Joanne."
Awesome.
Like,
Easy.
You know, so
That would have been a different movie.
I was
It would have
just
been a
gonna
very
say,
different movie. It would have been it was conceptual. I think it actually would have probably been pretty interesting though. 'Cause
Yeah.
He seemed like he really, really loved the project and loved the story. So I would have been interested to see what he did with it. But I found he walked me to the elevator. He was very nice afterwards. He walked me to the elevator, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice." You know, and he was like, "You auditioned for the show?" And I said, "Yes."
Just once. Just,
Yeah, many times. And he's like, "You didn't get it." I was like, "No, Spike, I did not get it.
You would know about
Did
it
you
if I
see it
had.
on the-
I did not get it." He's like, "Well, what's your audition for?" And I was like, "Joanne." Like, what I just...
Roger.
Mind you, then he made me sing Without You in the audition as well. He had me sing
Oh, for Mimi?
some Mimi stuff.
Oh, sure.
He said, "Who'd you audition for?" And I said, "Joanne." He said, "Well, you too young for Joanne. What, you gonna be a baby lesbian?" And that's when I knew I didn't get it yet again. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that." He was gonna, apparently he liked me and was gonna put me somewhere in it, but that fell apart. And then I went audition a couple more times for the play, and he kept saying, "You're gonna do this play. You just have to find the right combination." I was like, "You know what? Forget it. I don't even want to do your play anymore. I don't even know if I like it anymore. How about that? Maybe I don't want to do an AIDS musical anymore. Maybe I'm over you." Cut to, I went back in for the final time for Chris Columbus, and forgot about, like, literally thought I tanked it, thought I did not do well in the audition, which is on the DVD. Yeah. It's on the DVD.
Did you approve that? Or you must have signed a release?
Yeah. I thought I was terrible. I thought it was terrible.
Boy, were you wrong.
I thought it was terrible, and then just completely put it on my brain completely and forgot about it, and then suddenly booked it like a month later.
Have you gone back and watched it, and are you like the audition and still you're like, that's terrible? Or are you like, oh, okay, I guess it wasn't?
No. I have looked back at it, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it didn't suck as much as
Well,
I
it
thought.
clearly didn't.
I thought it sucked.
Guys, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225 to talk to the amazing Tracie Toms right here on La La Land. And, we're going to be back to talk to you a little more, Tracie,
Okay, great.
on La La Land with Brett and Daisy on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan. We're here with the amazing actress / vocalist Tracie Toms. If you have any questions for Tracie, make sure you call us at 1-800-336-2225.
Tracie, I have a question.
Sure. I don't know if I even finished the last question about Rand. I just talked about how I got it. I didn't talk about how it was.
We'll go back to that
Actual.
story.
Should I go back or should we?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking of rent,
I booked it. Apparently, screamed, ran, walked 40 blocks, screamed.
Did you
screamed.
really?
I walked 40 blocks in New York. Called everybody I feel like I had ever met in my life.
Yeah. Oh, like that commercial that's out right now.
I did. I
She's
called
like,
everybody.
"Oh my God,
I called my high school boyfriend who took me to see the play.
Aw.
I called him and was like, "Thanks for taking me to see Rand. I got it. Okay, bye.
it's awesome.
Okay, bye.
Listen,
Next.
Tracie. No, I gotta go.
I gotta go. I got other calls to make. I'll talk to you later.
So you were actually cast in the film before
I
the
was
stage
cast in the film
show?
before the stage show with most of the original cast except for Rosario Dawson and I were the two new people, and they completely embraced us. wholeheartedly from the beginning, which was incredible.
That's awesome.
And I was such a fan of all of them because I'd seen it in the musical. Had changed my life. It literally was like, I must do this. I must tell this story, this specific story. I had never been moved like that in the theater, and I'd been going. I don't remember what my first play was that I went to see. You know, I've always gone to the theater, so. So it was a very life-changing experience for me. So to do it, I think I have on tape somewhere, on like, you know, tape with the actual tape that you put in a tape recorder, an audio tape, you know, a cassette. I think I may have it on cassette. My first meeting, Anthony Rapp, because I was working on Tango. I was like, you know, working on it, and then he walked in the room, and then I was like, hi.
Aww.
And he's like, hi, so nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. We're so happy to have you. I'm like, okay, want to go? I'm like, this is weird. I mean, it really.
Oh my god!
It was really weird. I have to find it. I have to find that recording of us literally saying, hi, nice to meet you. And it was just really
phenomenal.
It was just really an incredible experience. I don't think I've had an experience quite like that in anything I've ever done. It was all encompassing. We were there for 6 months, just really telling.
Where did you shoot?
We shot most of it in San Francisco. We shot 2 weeks in New York, 2 months in San Francisco, and 2 weeks in LA. You know, and every other time I'm working on something, I've been lucky enough to be working on a couple things at once. So I'm always flying around, but it always feels like I'm kind of not in either
Anchored.
place, and I'm kind of everywhere, do you know?
Sure.
But that one was like, no, I'm just working on this one thing. Everything else is on hold until this is done. And, you know, and it just changed everything, you know. And then doing it on stage for the last 5 weeks on Broadway, to close it on Broadway was another dream come true. You know, my first show, walking out on stage, I think it was July. Somebody knows my first day. It was July 20-something, 27th, 25th, 26th, something like that.
It'll be one of those tweets today.
One of those
in Broadway
tweets today.
history.
Somebody who knows which was my first day. But walking out and seeing all those people and being on stage, and you know, and the fans came out that day because it was my first day, so
Was
they're all
that your
screaming.
first Broadway show?
No, that was my second Broadway show. My first Broadway show was Drowned and Crow, back in 2004, I think, which was an adaptation of The Seagull.
Wow.
So yeah, and then doing it at the Hollywood Bowl. I did it at the Hollywood Bowl 2 years ago, and that
Neil
was,
Patrick Harris directed that, right?
yeah. That was also incredible in a weird way. I mean, having, you know, standing on stage and saying, "Don't scream, Maureen, it's me, Joanne," and hearing like a sea of people screaming, because what happens is the people right in front have a lot of money, and they may or may not have seen Rent. They may care about it. They may
Right.
not. They're having wine and cheese. They've been there all day with their friends. They may be drunk, you know, whatever. But the people who love Rent, all the Rent heads, are in the back.
They're Chardonnay drunk too.
Yeah, the Chardonnay
they're
drunk.
a little
They're
mad.
the little like,
Yeah, son.
crotchety. This is loud, you know. Why is it so loud? But from the back, from up the mountain,
Yeah.
you hear like, and then it's like a delay.
That's awesome.
So by the time I got there, me and Joanne, your substitute production manager, hey, and it would get me, it would get there then, and it was crazy. It was crazy.
Well, getting back to the
we
movie or something, or excuse me, getting back to the movie for a second, because I noticed on the DVD, it was either you or Rosario was talking about how you two kind of bonded because you were the two new people. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
We did. It was actually pretty immediate. And, you know, I remember where I was standing when she walked in, and they opened the door, and it's like, this is Rosario. She came up. She's like, "Hi, I'm Rosario. Nice to meet you," and just like hugged me. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna work out perfectly."
That's great.
Did Death Proof happen because of that?
Yeah, Death Proof happened. Death Proof is another funny story if you want to hear it.
Oh,
We do.
And I don't know how much time we have because
well, we
I'm
only
a
have
chatty.
a few seconds for this segment.
Okay, well, I'll
but-
wait till the
Yeah,
next segment.
and Sammy in Philadelphia will be to you in the next segment.
Yay.
Yay, Sammy in Philadelphia.
She did it.
If you have any questions for the amazing Tracie Toms, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225, and we will be back with La La Land with Brett and Daisy right here on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That is Daisy Eagan. We're here talking with the amazing Tracie Toms. If you have any questions for Tracie, make sure you give us a
on.
call.
People
Just
are
like
tweeting
Sammy in
me.
Philadelphia did at
Yeah, Sammy finally did. We had to coax her.
1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. And Tracie, I have a question.
Sure.
So you've worked on television, film, theater. Do you have a preference between the mediums? And if so, what is it and why?
My preference, if I had to pick, would be theater always.
Yay!
Yeah.
Good choice.
It's not even a real fight. It's not a real competition.
Yeah.
The only thing is the money. You know, but
Right.
once they figure out, you know, once they figure out how to make it lucrative, you know, even slightly as lucrative as TV or film, then I won't ever do probably TV or film again. Probably.
You're a theater girl.
I'm a theater girl, and I've been doing it for so long. However, I have developed a love for all of the mediums in recent years. So, but I love them all. I love film. I love TV. I love them for different reasons. I love the things you can do and the way you can reach people differently. I love the accessibility of TV and how people feel like they know you. They feel like they really know you personally.
I like
And
that
I like
you get to develop a character.
And you get to develop
over
it.
time.
Yeah, the arc that
I mean, I've
lasts
heard.
years.
That's what I've heard.
That's what you.
Do you feel like the immediate audience reaction in theater is something that draws you to it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the exchange of energy in that space at that time is something that I think is absolutely magical. And I love to walk around New York City and Times Square and while plays are happening. I like walking around while plays are happening, not seeing the show, but just walking the streets and knowing that all these plays are happening at the same time.
Magic.
And all these people have paid all this money
A lot of money.
to be told a story that they know isn't true. It's like this contract that happens. Like, I know I'm going to pay money to sit here and watch you pretend to be somebody that I know you're not. You know, but I'm going to believe you. I'm going to choose to believe you until you do something that makes me not believe you. But I'm going in, choosing and deciding to believe you, and learn something and be changed and be different by the end. And I just think that is such a beautiful tradition that we have. You know, and it's different than movies.
way
Movies,
different.
there's a lot. It's not in the moment.
Right.
You know, and the audience, I learned it specifically from doing Stickfly, because we had a very vocal audience, because the play was just that kind of play. The audience can start to shift the play, and there's this balance, because, you know, our director, Kenny Leon, was like, no, we have to be the carrot. We cannot be the rabbit. We have to lead the audience. We can't be led by the audience, because the audience can take over the play if we let them, because it was one of those plays like, no, that didn't just happen, you know. And it's very exciting for us as a primarily black cast when we have middle-aged, upper-class white people yelling at the stage.
Were they really?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I was gonna say. Were
They were yelling at the stage,
primarily-
because I don't know if
show.
they were just inspired by the black members in the audience, or they just were so moved. But we had one very pivotal moment. It was like in previews, like the second preview or so, where Ruben Santiago Hudson has a line at the end of the play. You know, all this stuff has happened, and this white lady, like in the second row, said, "Oh, shut up, Dr. LeVay," but like loud, you know. "Oh, shut up, Dr. LeVay." We're like, "Oh, we got the white people talking on the stage. We got something here. We're doing something."
That's when you know that it's a success, when the white people start talking up. Yeah.
You know, and then at the end, when we're, you know, doing a curtain call and white people are in the front two rows, because we can see them, just sobbing, sobbing, because they were like, "That's my family," and I feel like this play really let me in a way that many other plays with a black cast will not let me in. I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm watching their experience is different than my experience.
But this
so
one
cool.
was more universal.
Yeah, it was really special, and I'm really honored that I was able to be a part of that. But yeah, it just solidified theater it's hard. It is hard in a different way, you know, because going
Some
through an
nights are a
entire
lot
journey.
more work than other
Yeah,
nights.
and going through an entire journey, especially if it's emotional or physically exhausting every night, takes a different kind of stamina. I mean, having to do an emotional scene, for example, or a physical scene in film, you have to do that scene all day. You have to keep it up all day long, you know, but there's a lot of coffee sometimes, a lot of 5 hours.
That always
A
helps.
lot of
Energy,
cocaine.
lots of coke.
You know, just whatever.
Let me get to Sammy in Philadelphia. You had a question for Tracie? Hi, Sammy.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I finally called.
I'm glad you did. I had to pull it out of you.
Yeah, but my question was, during that episode in Cold Case, You know, with the deaf kid?
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn any sign language?
I learned a little bit that I forgot. We had to all know. We had to learn in that moment. We all learned action, cut, things like that to help us communicate with the actors, because we had actual deaf actors in that episode, and it was really interesting and challenging to shoot the scenes because we had interpreters there, and we always wanted to make sure that everybody knew where everybody was, and there were some scenes that there were delays that would happen, but it was really, really beautiful, and it was one of my favorite episodes that we ever shot.
Mine too.
And our actors were really incredible. They were amazing kids. And we
that's
loved
awesome.
them.
What a great question, Sammy. Thank you.
You.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
Sammy.
for calling, Sammy.
Yay.
That's
Did
awesome.
it. She was very nervous.
That's sweet.
I worked on background on an episode of Switched at Birth lately, watching Marley Matlin work, speaking of deaf people, and those scenes, the director working with them, absolutely amazing how
Right.
they get those done.
Right.
It's also like when you're doing a live show and they do the interpretation show with the signers, for the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
I find it so hard to not watch them because they're so expressive and so.
It's like the language, the deaf culture is such a beautiful culture.
Yeah.
And sign language is such a beautiful language. If you see what movements go to different words and how it means more of the word than the word does.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what that actually means.
Right.
Yeah.
More than this stupid word that's just describing something. What you're doing with your body describes that thing, that feeling.
Much deeper understanding
Yeah.
of the word when you see the sign.
Absolutely.
I went to a 12-step meeting where there was a signer, and that was really interesting. Because when people were sharing, the signer was signing what they were sharing and also signing that they were, if they were crying, or it was just so. And then I wasn't even listening to
Awesome.
what people were saying. I was just.
I know. You're just watching how the expressions come out of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Gosh, we have
Okay, we're getting some calls.
four calls on the line.
Oh,
4 calls on hold right now.
Somebody had to break the ice. Thank you, Sammy. Breaking the ice.
How about let's go to Breon from Detroit on line 2. Hey, Breon. Oh, okay. We're gonna put Breon on hold. Keep holding, Breon.
Keep holding, Breon. I want to talk to you.
I do want to know about Death Proof.
How that happened.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how that happened. Okay, this is a cool story. Okay,
Nice.
so what happened was... okay, I'm trying to do this quickly because I'm long-winded. So I found out about Death Proof from my friend Kevin Daniels, who's closing in Magic Bird tonight on Broadway. He told me about it because he heard about it, so we inquired, blah, blah, blah. Quentin at the time was only seeing people he knew. So I had to go on tape with the casting director, Mary Vernew, because she loved Cold Case. So she's like, I'll put her on tape, show it to Quentin, whatever. Did it on tape. So at this point, it's a weird thing with actors, and you'll be able to understand this. We fight so hard to get into the room that actually getting the job doesn't really occur to us. It's like we're just trying to get in the room.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tracie Toms just broke the radio.
We had so many calls on the line for Tracie that it's actually overloaded the phones, kind of. But we're going to try and get to them one by
We're gonna
one
get to
here.
him. Should I finish what I was saying really quickly?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so what happened was, went on tape, found out he liked me, but I was between me and like another girl, and he couldn't decide, so he had to hire Rosario's part first, so we figure what the thing is, and I'm like, oh wait, but hold on, but that's my friend, and Rosario had gone in already and didn't like her audition, so called over and said, I want to come in again. So he said, okay, great. So we decided we were going to go in together.
Girl, you have cojones.
I know. We just decided we were going to go in together. We weren't going to tell him, but our agents were like, "You have to tell him. You can't do that." So we were like, "Hey, you want to?" Oh, by the way, I had a callback with him already. So I went in.
Okay.
But he liked it. Went and had a callback. I don't really believe in going into auditions as the character.
Yeah.
Because I'm an actor. Let's not pretend I'm not an actor. But in this particular audition, I said the most ridiculous things to Quentin Tarantino. Like I went in asked him.
Nice.
And I insulted his house. I was kind of insulting him, and he just
He
liked
loved
it.
it.
He
Oh, I'm
loved
sure
it.
he loves
Awesome.
that.
He loved it, and then I almost threw up in the pussy wagon outside
Nice.
afterwards because I couldn't believe that I had just done that. And then Rosario's like, "No, I want to be in it. I didn't like my audition. I'm gonna go in again." Called
Again?
blah blah blah. No, the first
Oh, okay.
time I went back. So then we went in together and had memorized the entire movie. and just pretty much did the whole movie for him in a hotel room. And he was like,
You're my hero.
That's awesome.
I feel like I just saw the movie. And
You're like,
we're
you
in
did.
costume. I'm like in a camouflage shirt, and we went shopping for jean cutoff shorts. It was ridiculous, but it was like, no. I'm fighting for this.
That's awesome.
You know, and often you fight and it doesn't work.
Right. You got to do it.
But it worked that time. So
You want
Yeah.
it, you got to do it. Let's go to, who should we go to? Dawn? Dawn on line 2?
Dawn,
Hey, Don.
Hi.
hi.
I had a question, actually.
Bring it.
I know, like, a lot of fans would probably ask this, but, you know, I really, like, love your singing voice. Is there, like, any way you would consider doing an album sometime, and, like, ever?
For a long time, hi Dawn. We talk all the time on Twitter. I feel like we're friends. For a long time, I said no, but I'm realizing that is probably not going to fly. I mean, I get the question so often, and I'm admitting here to all of you people that the reason I have not made an album is out of fear.
Yay, me too.
That's why I have not done it. I have done it out of fear. I've not done it out of pure fear. It is not because I don't want to, really. It's kind of because I don't know what it would be of, like what kind of music would it be, whatever. But mostly it's fear. So I did my cabaret a couple years ago. I did my cabaret a couple of years ago, and the musical director of that was James Sampliner, and James Sampliner, really, he hounds me every couple of months, like, when are we doing your album? When are we doing your album? And I'm like, I don't have any money, they're expensive, So the answer is yes. I would consider doing an album. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think it's going to be
but-
called Duets with Daisy Eagan.
Duets with just me and you, baby.
I like that she admits that it's that it's
just fear.
Yeah, you're human. It's a scary thing.
It's just fear, and it's something. I have a block in my brain, and I'm in therapy now. I have a block in my brain that there's something that won't allow me to really consider myself a singer. And I know a lot of people have seen that on Rent, and they think it's just a thing. But they didn't make it up. I'm not making it up. You know, I have so much history and training and acting that for me to then say, well, I'm going to be a singer now. There's something in my brain that won't allow me to do that, and I need to get over myself. Get over it and accept it.
Fascinating to me, knowing the voice that you have. That's kind of
yeah.
interesting.
Somebody said he was going to call in and have me sing "Happy Birthday" to him.
Oh, call in, whoever you are.
Should we go to another call?
Yeah, let's.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
Julia?
Thank you.
I think Julia was next, right? Julia.
Joe Liz.
No, Joe Liz in New York.
Oh,
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good.
So I wanted to ask because when I watched the season 2 finale of Walking Dead, I was kind of disappointed it wasn't you at the end.
Yeah,
So
I was
was
kind of
she.
disappointed it wasn't me either.
So I have a question because I saw you post your comics online and all that. I was wondering if you could pick any character in the comic book world to play, who would it be?
Agent 355.
good question.
Wow, you had that ready to go.
I think Agent
I
355.
really did.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Agent 355. Misty Knight was my first love. Misty Knight is in the Daughters of the Dragon comics, and she has a bionic arm. That was made by Tony Stark. She's pretty awesome.
Oh, nice.
And I love her. Agent 355, though, in Why the Last Man, which I'm working my way through right now. I just started it last week, and I bought all of those because people kept asking me about her. She seems to have a really fascinating journey. We look a whole lot alike, and our demeanors are similar. So I believe that I would really be able to play her well. But you know what? Either or, bring it. Misty Knight or Agent 355, since Michonne is not going to meet me. But it is going to be Denai Guerrera, who is incredible. You're going to be very, very happy with her. She's a genius, brilliant actress.
I'm very excited for it.
yeah.
But love you, Tracy. Just
Love
wanted
you
to send
too.
love.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.
Julia and Brecken. I guess we'll
No,
get to them in the
that's
next-
Breon.
Breon. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it looks like a scene, that thing.
Yeah.
The next segment.
Yep. Next segment.
Julia and Breon.
Don't go
we'll get
anywhere.
to soon.
Don't go anywhere.
If you have any questions for Tracy, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. 1-800-336-2225. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk and Twitter at twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. And we'll be back on La La Land Talk with Brett and Daisy on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan. Guys, we're talking with actress, vocalist Tracie Toms. Make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. 1-800-336-2225 if you have a question for her. You want to get right to the calls?
Bring it.
Guess so. Do it.
Julia in Youngstown, Ohio. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you doing? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Sitting here talking to you.
What's your question, Julia?
It might be weird, but I've just wondered. Because you played Joanne like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to do it again, would you have to relearn the lines, or do you already know them all?
No, they're in there.
Blazing.
Those things are in there. If I had to do the movie version again, I'd have to relearn those lines. But no, I'd have to think about it for a second. But no, they're there. It's the little ones, like the little ones, and like Happy New Year, and where I just kind of come in and have a line here and there. When I had to do it at the Hollywood Bowl, I had to. Oh yeah, right. Oh right, I had. Right, I did that. You know, because I only did it for 5 weeks, so it wasn't like I did it for years like other people in the shows. But I've known it for so long, so.
I bet you sing "Take Me or Leave Me" in your sleep.
I kind of do.
I was doing that in the shower today, and then I caught myself.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of do. You know, and every time I sang it a little bit different, and I'll hear new things now.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, oh God, if I could have done that,
You could do that on your album.
I could do it on my
But you'd have
album.
to find somebody to sing the other part.
Who would I get?
I don't know.
Gosh.
God, that's a tough call.
Maybe her last name rhymes with Schmeegan.
Oh, Schmazy Schmeegan.
Yeah.
She's a Schmoney Award schminning schmacker.
Hey, thanks for calling, Julia.
Thank you,
We got
Thank you.
we've got Breon on the line from Detroit, Michigan. Hey, Breon.
Detroit.
Hi.
It's cold in the D.
It is.
Hey, what's your
Oh my gosh,
question?
it's not cold.
I know.
It's not
I just,
cold.
I love it so much.
It's frigid and freezing.
It's not cold right now. It's not cold right now.
No, not that.
Um,
You know what I was talking about.
I know that song. That song is.
I know it's whack, and I do it every time I meet anybody from Detroit, and I try not to. And it's
terrible.
eventually
Oh
going to
my
come out.
gosh.
It's eventually going to come out
It's
because
so bad.
because it gives me joy. Because it's
Oh, Wick,
Anyway.
I just caught that.
What's going on, Brian?
It's, nothing much. You know, just.
What's your
Facebooking
question
the life
for
away.
Tracie, Breon?
What you want to ask
Okay.
me, Mom?
Well, I kind of have 2 questions, but I'm
Okay.
going to focus on one.
Okay.
Okay. So what's like?
30
Well, do you
seconds.
prefer doing musicals, or do you prefer doing just straight plays? And what are your favorite things about both?
Okay. Ooh, okay. I actually prefer doing straight plays than doing musicals because at heart I'm an actor. And I'm a singer second, so I'm an actor first. And having to do musicals, there is such stress that goes into having to sing a big show, 8 shows a week, that it ends up freaking me out. So I would prefer to just concentrate on the acting, but I do love how music moves people, and really you can accomplish a whole lot in 2 words of a song that you can't. You have to do monologues and scenes and scenes and scenes to accomplish the same thing through just dialogue. So that's one thing I love about both, and I love that about musicals. But then that's that.
Oh my God, you guys! What a show!
Thanks for calling, Breon.
That's incredible. I feel like I just ran a
These are all
marathon.
my friends.
I know. Let's talk about
Thanks,
Looper
Brad.
too. Let's mention Tracie's going to be in the film Looper coming up soon.
Yes,
for any
Looper.
information
It's
on that.
Yeah, it comes out in September. It's Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt time traveling extravaganza film called Looper. You will love it.
I am
You've not seen a time traveling movie like this.
Like her page on Facebook and follow her on Twitter. The amazing
Yay.
Tracie Toms.
The show is produced by Paul Stern.
Yes.
And Paul
Madrid is our engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah.
You
next
can
week.
like us on Twitter and Facebook, La La Land Talk.
And next week we're going to be talking to Daniel Henning and Julie Garnier. Julie's going to be singing live.
I love Julie Garnier.
And Daniel Henning of the Blank Theater that has the Young Playwrights Festival coming up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
20th anniversary.
You guys want to send us an email? Send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time on La La Land with Brett and Daisy, Sierra and Digital Talk. See you at the top.